Okay, everyone, let's get started. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat. Baruch Hashem. What a beautiful day today here in Eretz Yisrael. Baruch Hashem and Efrat. And again, we always learn for the well-being for our dear Chayalim and our captives and then all the injured ones. Wow. Okay, HaKadosh Baruch should show everyone, all Klal Yisrael, wherever we are, a lot of mercy. A lot of mercy, and we should see big Yeshuas because it's the month of Adar. In the month of Adar, we had a big Yeshua. In the Mitzvah Hashem, this is the Yeshua that's going to bring us to Nisan, and we know that the same way we went out of Mitzrayim in Nisan, where Mitzvah Hashem will go out of this Golus in Nisan as well, because we learn everything out of Mitzrayim. Right? Well, every Golus, we learn everything out of Mitzrayim. So, same way we went out then, and Mitzvah Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will show us how big Yeshua is now then as well. Okay, we're learning in Likutey Halachos, Baruch Hashem, amazing. Hilchos Beit Hakneset, the laws of the synagogue. Yesterday we learned about the importance of the kli. When you wash your hands, right? We discussed Shlomo HaMelech was the one that introduced the idea that we wash our hands for bread, right? And yesterday we learned the importance of the kli, the vessel that you use to wash your hands. It's supposed to be a vessel that's shalem, right? It has to be a vessel that doesn't have, especially not a crack and not a damage. You want the cup to be something shalem. And we made the comparison to the person's guf, right? The same way the guf, the person has a body, and that's the kli for the neshama, right? Huh? Right? The body is the vessel for the neshama, correct? Right? The neshama needs a place, what?
Shoes.
Shoes? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's shoes. I understand. Okay, but we're talking about, seriously, the guf. The guf is actually the kli to hold the body. Now, the purer the body is, of course, the better connection and the more comfortable the neshama feels in that body. Because the neshama again is a chelik elikam mimal. It's a part of us. It's pure. It's the purest thing in the world. It's the purest thing is our neshama, right? So the purer we keep our body, is the more you give the neshama that comfort to be in the body. You understand, right? And we said that's why the tzaddikim, they are the ones that are most careful about all of their activities, right? All of their activities and all their time spent, right? So therefore, their bodies are a very, very good receptacle in order to accept the chesed chinam, right? All of that beautiful blessing from Hashem, that free blessing from Hashem. The tzaddik is one. When we're connected to the tzaddikim and the pshitas of the tzaddikim, of course, we can it will extend to us as well, via our connection to the tzaddikim. Okay, via our connection.
It's an interesting thing about the body. We were
doing
a table down in the OTEF. I don't know who's been, but there's they really built it up. But there's a place where they took all the cars.
All the what? Yeah.
They took all the cars. I don't know who's been to this place.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. And now, I've been there many times, and now it's become like either like a museum. What they've done with it, it's really. But and a lot of people are going there anyway. I remember being there very early, and people know what happened there was they would bring the cars there, and the people would come and they would take a vacuum, and vacuum every substance out of the car, and then they would go through the whatever came out to looking for body parts.
Yeah.
And if they found any body parts, they had to bury.
Yeah, they buried it.
And so what is it about? Why are we so careful? Why are we so careful with this? Well,
excellent.
So if you have
excellent.
If you have like we take anything that has Hashem's name, and we put in the Geniza, right? Anything that we do, anything that we have that's involved with the mitzvah, we're very careful with this. Mm-hmm. So ultimately, what's the thing that we use for mitzvot all the time? All the time, it's the goof. And that's why the Jewish people were so careful with any
everything.
part of our body that we have to make sure that it's disposed of properly.
And that's why we have to make sure we keep our bodies as pure as possible, right? Right. Excellent,
Dispose
excellent.
of them.
Excellent connection, excellent. Excellent. But it's a very important concept to understand, right? It's a very, very important concept to understand. I mean, and this is all connected to Purim, right? This whole thing, the idea is connected to Purim because you had one individual, Mordechai, right? One lone soldier. He was a lone soldier. He was all by himself, right? There was no one else. He was the only one that wasn't Kairam, Mishtachav, El Haman, right? He was the only guy, and not only that, they all the askanim of the time, all of them made a big asifa, and they wanted to tell Mordechai, look, what are you doing? Why are you poking the bear? What are you doing? Why are you picking on this Haman? You're making us all these problems. And Mordechai said, listen, you got it all wrong, fellas. You got it all wrong. You're the ones that are picking with the bear because you're giving in to the bear. You're the one that's starting with I'm standing on the side of Hashem. You understand? And as long as you stand on the side of Hashem, we're going to be victorious. Could you imagine? He said that against everyone else. That's how strong he was. And they saw they weren't going to get anywhere with him. They let him go. But it's an amazing thing how he was so. And I saw something yesterday. I'll just share with you from the Holy Chassam Sofer. The Chassam Sofer, the Rav of Pressburg, right? The Holy Chassam Sofer. So he discusses what was the turning point and what was the main point of what was the main miracle. What's the main miracle in the Megillah? What's the main miracle in the whole story? Anyone have any idea? What would you say the main miracle was? The main miracle of the whole story. If you had to pinpoint it on one thing, what would you say?
Esther being chosen.
But that was after the miracle. That was after. No, so what changed the story? Where did the story change? Where did the miracle begin?
When he got rid of his first wife.
Excellent. That's true. That's what the Chassam Sofer says. Why?
Because that opened the gate for Hashem to bring Esther in.
Right, but okay. So now here's an interesting thing. Chassam Sofer says interesting. It says it was the seventh day. Ketov Leiv Hamelech B'Yayin. It was the seventh day. Right? The king he made a party for 180 days, right? And then after that was over, he made another party for 7 days, right? That's what the story says, right? 180 days, and then he made another party for 7 days. And then it says on the seventh day, it doesn't say Hamelech Achashverosh, it says Hamelech. Ketov Leiv Hamelech B'Yayin, right? Hamelech. So we know the klal. Anytime it says in the Megillah HaMelech, it's referring to Hashem. Again, it's hidden. Ketov HaMelech B'Yayin. It was the seventh day. It was Shabbos. It was Shabbos then. That's why it says it was the seventh day. It was literally the seventh day, right? It was the seventh day. And the Yidden that were there picked up their cups and they made Kiddush. They made Kiddush. It was Friday night, and they made Kiddush. Ketov Leiv HaMelech B'Yayin. Says the Chassam Sofer that Hashem was so pleased that in all of this dismal situation that they found themselves in, right? Let's think about it. Achashverosh is wearing the big day kahuna. They're using the kalim from the Beis HaMikdash, right? And they just felt such a disconnection from Hashem. That's why there was. They felt so disconnected. Again, 410 years they had a Beis HaMikdash. And then what happens? The Beis HaMikdash is destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar. Destroyed. They felt that Hashem...
It was between the two houses?
Yeah, that's in between. Yeah, it was right. Within 80 years after
80 years?
80 years. 80
Because it
years.
says it's only how it wasn't 70 years. How
It was supposed to be 80 years. It was supposed to be 80 years. The whole the Golus was supposed to be 80 years, and they knew that. And Achashverosh knew that also. But they made the miscalculation. I believe that's why this year the Megillah falls in with Purim falls in with Parshas Kisisa, because there was also a miscalculation of time. Right, when it came to the what do you call it, when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim for 40 days, right? So they made a miscalculation in time, right? And they also felt abandoned. They also felt despondent, and they also felt depressed, and they didn't know what to do. Same idea. It was really the same situation. If you think about it in the parsha, what happens? Moshe Rabbeinu is coming down, and Yoshua. It says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you hear this noise, it must be there's a war going on amongst the people. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, it's not a war. It's not a war. They're very depressed. They're very depressed. So what does he mean? What does he mean? The only reason why we fell to the golden calf was because we weren't besimcha. Right? Because we weren't besimcha. If we would have been besimcha, we never would have fell to it. So Yeshua says it's a war. Yeah, there's a war. There's a war going on between them and the Yetzer Hara. There's a war going on. So they were saying, okay, now back to the Megillah. So they were sitting at this party, and again, whenever you're not following the ways of Hashem. So you can get involved in a party, you can do different things, like the world does, right? They get involved in all kind of things, and they just quell the pain of the neshama, right? We keep talking about the neshama, it quells the pain. But then the party's over, and then they're depressed again, and they need more something, more and more and more. And that's how drug addicts work, and that's how alcoholics work. It's the same idea. They're okay when it's on because it quells the problem.
Right, yeah.
Okay, but here it says the Chassam Sofer that they made Kiddush. They made Kiddush. And they used the wine to make Kiddush.
Well, that's why it says that...
So he says, so says the Chassam Sofer, HaKadosh Baruch was so pleased with that, that's why he made Vashti have to come out with that answer that she came out with. Right? Let's think about it for a second. Right? Vashti was a very important lady.
It was Nebuchadnezzar's daughter, right?
Nebuchadnezzar's it was a daughter or a granddaughter. I don't remember, but granddaughter. Yeah. And she was married. She was married to the king. So the king wanted her. He told her to come out, bekeser malchut, to go out with your crown. And the Chazal tell us it means go out with your crown and only your crown. Right? So she comes back and she tells him, she's kind of gives him a snide answer. She could have just said to Achashverosh, hey, I'm not feeling too well today. I'm not feeling well. I'm not up to coming out. He wouldn't have gotten upset at her. What did he say to her? She says to me, you're the king. Who do you think you are to tell me to come out? Right? And then we know that she had some kind of. We don't know that. Well, there's a dispute. Did she have a tail? Did she have tsuras? Whatever. Something happened to her. She generally was a very beautiful woman, but something happened at that time so that she didn't want to go out. Because really, she wanted to go out. But why did she have to come back at him with such an answer? She could have just said, "Hey, I'm not feeling well."
What did she say?
She said to the king. He says, "So who are you to tell me to come out like this? Like who do you think you are? You're only the king because of me."
Well, it was true though, because he was like nothing, right?
He was nothing. He was mamish. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right. Okay. So wait a second.
Boy.
That's right. So one second. So says the Chassam Sofer. So Hashem put that thought in her head to change the whole thing. That she'll say like she said, right? That she gave that answer to Achash. So therefore she would get killed. And that was really the biggest miracle. That's where the miracle began. That's exactly where the miracle began. Why? Because we made Kiddush. Kitayv Leiv HaMelech Bayayin. The king was happy with our Kiddush. See how important Kiddush is? See how important? We don't realize it. We're learning about the cup, right? You pick up the cup to make Kiddush, right? The cup has to be a good cup, a good kli, right? So when you pick up your cup to make Kiddush, realize it's something very, very, very lofty. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu really enjoys when we make Kiddush, right? You see that, right? Okay, let's learn something in Likutey Halachos. We can go on with the Megillah, can keep going, but we came to learn Likutey Halachos, so let's learn Likutey Halachos. Okay, so today we're up to Lamed Daled. Therefore, the water that you use to wash, it can't be water that you recycle. So like water that was used for something else, you want to use clean water. You want to use good water, right? So again, we want to have a nice kli and nice water. Right? You don't want to have putrid water, smelly water, not clean water. You want clean water when you wash your hands, and you wash your hands, so you want to use good water. Because why? Because if you use the water for something else, for some other activity, for something else, so then that water is tainted with the 39 malachas, with the 39 prohibitions of Shabbos, right? The 39 tests that you're not allowed to do on Shabbos, which is connected to the zoom of the Nachash Kadmani. The Nachash Kadmani is also connected to the Megillah, right? Why? We know that Haman min ha'Torah minayin. Hamin ha'etz. Hamin ha'etz. Haman. Oh, Hamin ha'etz. Haman. Right? We know that, right? It's all connected. Hanachash, right? Okay. Ayedei chet adam arishon shepogam ba'achilas eitz adas v'tay v'rash. Ayedei zeh pogam be'amuna utmimus upshitas. Right? Adam Arishon's original is his mistake. He had everything so good. He had mamish everything so good in Gan Eden. He had everything served to him. He had anything he wanted, anything. He had room service, everything. Everything was He had anything he wanted, everything. And all Hashem said was, don't do one thing. Don't eat from the tree. That's all he said. There's one thing. But again, it got complicated. It wasn't simple. Could have been just simple. Hey, Hashem said I shouldn't eat from the tree. V'zeu. I'm not going to eat from the tree. Finished. It's one thing. It's only one thing. If he would have kept it simple, right? One mitzvah. Don't eat from the tree, and if he wouldn't have eaten from the tree, everything would have been different, right? Everything would have been very, 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 very different, right? But he did eat from the tree. Okay. Right to das toivara. Ki adam arishon shehu ikar habriya. Ki b'shviloi nivra hakol. Adam arishon was the main bria, was the main thing of creation. Right? Hashem created everything. Right, he created all of the worlds, and he created all of the firmaments and everything, and he created all of the animals and everything else. But the main creation was Adam Arishon. Right, it was all so that way he would be ready for the Suda. Rashi says that, right? So Adam Arishon would come into the world, and everything would be prepared for him, right? Like you come to the Suda. When you come to the Suda, they don't start cooking the meal. Right? When you come to the Suda, everything's prepared. Right? So Adam Rishon, the whole point was to bring him with Chesed Chinam, and Hashem did it all with the Chesed Chinam. Of course, he created Adam Rishon with Chesed Chinam. What did Adam do? He didn't do anything on his own. Right? It was all Chesed Chinam from Hashem. It was the free gift from Hashem that he even created, made all of creation. He had to work, Adam Arishon should have worked so diligently to connect and recognize, hey, Hashem, you just made me. The snake is saying to me that what? Hashem, you ate from that tree, and therefore you became a god, and then you were able to create me, and that's why you don't want me to eat from the tree, because then I'll become a god too. There will be competition. It's complicated, right? It could have been simple, right? Hashem said, don't eat from the tree. No, and that's how it is with every halacha, anything that we do. Just follow the halacha. Don't try to work it, to figure things out, right? Keep the halacha simple. Because at that time there was no Torah yet. The Torah wasn't given, right? It was within hours of creation. Everything was created for Adam Arishan. All he had to do was watch his own body. Watch the body, like we keep saying, he had to watch his body so he shouldn't have any kilkul, he shouldn't cause any damage to his body. He shouldn't have gone after the advice, right? The advice of the Nachash that seems like Chochmah, right? He came with a whole dreidel with him, right? He came with a whole thing. Well, this, that. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, Nachash, Hashem said don't eat from it. Finished. I don't want to hear what you have to say. You can't eat from it. I can't eat from it. No one eats from that tree. So get out of here. That's what he could have said. That's what we can tell our Yetzirah all the time also. Listen, Hashem said no. Get out of here. You can't do, I'm not doing it. We're not doing this. Get out of here. Right? That's what he could have said. Simple. Right? That's why the Rebbe keeps teaching us to think simplicity. Simple. I do this, I don't do this. Eitz das toivara. I do this, I don't do this. Right? But the Yetzirah is going to tell you what you're supposed to do, don't do. And what you're supposed to not do, he tells you to do. Right? Keep it simple. Right? The tree was nechmad, right? It was chamad. It was so. It was. What's a good word for nechmad? Friendly? No. What? Pleasant. Yeah, it seemed very pleasant. It seemed pleasant. It seemed pleasant to get smart. Lahaskil. Va'oz haya mamshech hachesed chinam karoyu v'haya yochal liyos liskayim gufay li'olam. In other words, if he would have just fixed that, his body would have been for eternity. Right? He could have been in a guf for eternity in Gan Eden. In other words, he was in Gan Eden. Right? That's what the Torah tells us. He wasn't in the world, he was in Gan Eden. He wouldn't have had to come to the world. Could have lived li'olam, everything would have been magnificent. He was able, he caused that really everything should have gotten destroyed. Because Hashem said, the day you eat from the tree, mais yumas, right? Right? The day you eat from the tree, you surely have to die. See, everything was created for Adam. Let's think about it, right? Everything was created for Adam. And Adam was supposed to live for eternity. The world was supposed to go on everything was supposed to be beautiful, great. Now that he ate from it, so really it was worthy that everything would get destroyed because it was only for him. Now he has to die, so then everything else is not important. If everything was created for the person, now the person's not there anymore, so we need everything else. You understand? He see like meyatzma chesed because he took out from himself this chesed, the chesed chinam. Shayidei shekilkel hakli ayidei chachmas pigumim shel atzas hanachash, because he caused this damage by listening to the advice of the nachash. But because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has such great kind compassion, Seaboys, the Rachamim, he had all his different ideas with Rachamim, V'diba imay v'heya, by Hiruei Tshuva. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Adam Arishan in a way to prompt him, to pry that he should do some tshuva. So therefore, he would be able to come upon him the Aras HaChesed. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Adam, what happened? So Adam Arishan said to him, hey, you gave me this wife, right? You gave me the wife, and it's her fault. Right? And then Hashem asked Chava, what happened? So she says, it wasn't my fault, it was the Nachash's fault. Passing the buck, right? Always passing the buck. right? Adam could have just said at that time, Hashem, I'm sorry, I got into something complicated and I should have just kept it simple and I made a mistake. Everything would have been all fixed. Everything would have been great. Because again, tshuva was kaidem liolam. Right? The idea of tshuva was created before of all creation. Tshuva precedes all creation. So had Adam Arishan tapped into tshuva, he could have gone back, right, before creation and fixed everything. Right? Similarly to Moshe Rabbeinu. When he came down from the mountain, right? He came down from the mountain, he broke the luchos. Why did he break the luchos? Because that way it's as if the Torah wasn't given. Right? So then you can come back to the chesed chinam. Same idea. All right? Okay, but also miyoymai elef shonim kadeshi is kayim ha'olam. All right? And he had, okay, so then it came over there, he would have 1,000 years. Shal ze nemar zechor rachmecha Hashem v'chazaka mi'elam heima k'may shedosha b'seinu zalmu b'peish Rashi sheze nemar l'inyan Adam Arishan she'asa miyoymai elef shonim. He took from his day and he turned it into 1,000 years, right? He made from his day, that day, right? And it was supposed to be, the day was supposed to go on for all eternity. But he turned his day into a certain time. And when we think about, wow, 1,000, take a day and turn it into 1,000 years, pretty good. But really, Adam Rishon was supposed to live forever. So out of ever, 1,000 years is nothing. Right? Right? Does that make sense? Right? And he was supposed to live li'olam. So if you take eternity and you turn it into 1,000 years, even though it seems, wow, it's a long time. But it's not a long time in respect to things. The same idea we say about Torah. Torah is infinite. So you have something, but it's infinite. Even though it's a lot. But it's nothing compared to all of Torah. You understand the connection? Right? I'm just trying to connect all the things that we keep learning, okay? שזהו היה על ידי חסדיו הגדולים וזה בכינס חסד חינם אבל על ידי כהקלקול לא היה אפשר לו עוד שיחיה לידם. But because of the problem and he didn't do tshuva, that was the thing. It was the problem and he didn't do tshuva right away. Therefore, he had to have a set time that he would live ad al yedei chesed chida me'acha shekilkol hakli kol kach, because he damaged the kli so very much so, right? And we know that David HaMelech only came around because Adam Arishan gave him his 70 years, right? And David HaMelech is responsible for Mordechai, right? Mordechai. David HaMelech is responsible for Mordechai, right? Because again, when Shimi was Mordechai's grandfather, right? Father. Ben Shimi. No. Mordechai ben Shimi. It was his father. Was his father or grandfather?
Ben Kish Yemini.
Kish Yemini. No, but he's from Shimi. So you say grandfather.
No, Shimi is father.
His father. Okay, his father. Right. Okay, his father. Okay, so what happened? Shimi had cursed the David HaMelech, right? He had a disagreement with him, and they said he has to kill him. Right? So what happened? David HaMelech says, not so fast. David HaMelech waited till Mordechai was around, right? Waited till he was born. Once Mordechai was born, then David HaMelech killed Shimi, because he had to kill him. He was married by Malchus, right? He went against the king. You go against the king, you have to die. But he pushed it off. He waited till Mordechai, and that's why it says that Mordechai is a Yehudi, and he's from Yemini, right? He's a Yehudi. Why is he Yehudi? Because David HaMelech was the one that let Shimi live long enough that Mordechai should come around. So therefore he's called Yehudi, but he's also Ishimini. He's from Binyamin. So he's Binyamin because he's literally from Binyamin, but he's only from Binyamin because David HaMelech gave him his life. That's why he's known as the Yehudi in Yemini. Okay.
He's both Bet David and Bet Shaul? Mordechai?
No, he's not. He's from Yemini. But only because David HaMelech let him live long enough to have Mordechai. Therefore, we attribute also his life to David.
But okay.
Okay?
So we learn Smolani is not Yehudi. Smolani is really
No Yehudi. and not lo yemini, right? So the smolim and lo Yehudim, right? Yehudim. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's like we can connect all these things that we're learning always back to the time, right? Isn't that nice? Baruch Hashem. Okay, v'oz nigza ola be'itzva and teichlenu. Right? Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the curse to Adam Arishon be'itzva and teichlenu. Right? With depression while you eat your bread. Right? V'bechinas halametes malachos v'al kein hamayim shal netilas yadayim tzrichen shiyu mayim shaloi nasu behem malacha. Therefore, the water that you use to wash your hands should be water that was not involved with any malacha, because malacha is attached to be'itzva and teichlenu, right? You don't want to wash your hands with the water of depression. So if it has anything to do with you used it for any kind of task, the water, it should be pure water, because you don't want it to have anything to do with the itzva. Okay, okay, rak. You mayim tahirim. The water should be pure. How you like that? There's a river that flows from Eden, right? From Gan Eden, right? Eden, right? There's a river, and that's the water. That's the water of Chesed. So when we wash our hands with clean water, we're tapping into the meimei chesed of the waters, that the river that flows from Eden. Isn't that amazing? You're down here in the world, wherever you are, you fill up your cup, right, with clean water, and you have a cup that's a cup that's sholem, right, a complete, nice, beautiful cup, and you have the mind to wash your hands, so you're tapping into the waters of the river of Eden, the water of the Meimei HaChesed, the waters of Chesed. Shul bechinas haTorah nelemes, shul bechinas haderech le'Eretz Yisrael, shemamshech hatzadik beis b'shitosai, and that's connected again to the tzaddikim, and that's where the tzaddik connects back to the Nohar haYotzei me'Eden. Right, the Nohar haYotzei me'Eden, the tzaddik connects to. That's where all the Meimei HaChesed is. That's where all the Chesed Chinam is. So the tzaddik connects back to that place of Gan Eden, that place of the river that flows from Gan Eden, and the water flows down to the world, and that's the Chesed that flows down to the world. In the tziner, there's a tziner. There are different pipes that come down. Right, amazing, right? And it comes filled with this water from Eden. Isn't that beautiful? Amazing. Right, we're connected to Gan Eden when you wash your hands. Who would have ever known that? Right, you're connecting to the waters of Chesed when you wash your hands to eat bread. That's why Chazal tell you every morning, wash your hands, right? Wash your hands before you go to work, and have some bread, right? Because Shlomo Melech said, wash your hands for bread, right? So you connected into the path of Eretz Yisrael, right? You connect back to the ways of the tzaddikim. The tzaddik Shlomo Melech was his idea to wash your hands in the first place, right? And we can purify ourselves from all of the tumas, all of the impurity that we were involved in, and we got the right. It says that Hashem always makes the refuah kaidem hamachla, right? The refuah is always the healing comes before the machla, right? That's Shabbos, right? We have Shabbos. Comes before what we call the week. Chol. Chol comes from the word of chola, right? Sick. Shabbos is the refuah. Shabbos is the refuah that comes before the machla, right? Hashem always gives you the refuah kaidem machla. That's why you have Shabbos, you have Malava Malka, right? Bringing in the week to give you the fortification, so you have the refuah before the machla. You understand?
It was created last.
What's that?
The Shabbos was created last.
Yeah, but then the week coming up. Mm-hmm. The Shabbos was created last, right? But there was no people then, right? Right? When man was created before Shabbos, right? So he has the refuah, kaidem, the machla of the week, and that's what we have every week, right? And then we get ready for Shabbos again. We prepare ourselves again. Okay, that's okay. That we said that the main tikkun of achila is the achilas of the foods and the things that come from Eretz Yisrael, It's a beautiful idea to understand that really all of the Kedusha, like we always talk about, all the Kedusha is found in Eretz Yisrael. Hence it's called, again, the Holy Land. Right? No other land in the world is called Holy Land. You said it was Hollywood, right? But we don't have Holy Land, right? Holy Land. Why is that? Because everything that's produced in our land is holy. Everything that's produced in this land is holy. It's fascinating. And we said that the flood of Noah, right, by the time in the years of Noah, didn't come to Eretz Yisrael. Right, this land wasn't water came here, but there was no mabel. There was no mabel in Eretz Yisrael. It's a different place. It's all about the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, and we're always trying to connect our way back to Eretz Yisrael. And how do we connect our way back to Eretz Yisrael? Through the Chesed Chinam. Same way HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us Eretz Yisrael for as a present. Right? Avraham Avinu didn't ask him for Eretz Yisrael. Yitzchak Avinu didn't ask for it. Yaakov didn't ask for it. Hashem gave it to him for a gift. Right? Avraham Avinu didn't ask, can I have this land? No. Hashem said, I'm giving you the land. You ever hear Avraham Avinu asking for the land? You ever ask any of the others asking for the land? No. Hashem offers it to them. Right? Is that true?
So, yeah, so you're going to go, I'll show you where to go to.
There you go. He had no idea.
Free gift.
It was exactly. It was the free gift. The same way Adam Arishan came into the world, and Hashem created Adam Arishan. He created the whole world. It was just a free gift. It was free. It was Hashem, and all Hashem asked Adam Arishan to do is do one thing: to keep it simple. I just don't eat from this one tree. Keep it simple. But Adam Arishan made it complicated because he listened to the advice of the Nachash, and the Nachash made it complicated. Where Hashem says, keep things simple. Yiddishkeit is simple. The Yetzer tells me this, and he gives you a whole convoluted thing why you can do this, where you really know you shouldn't do it. But you start thinking about it, right? Then it becomes complicated, and then the person falls. If you keep it simple, hey, Torah says I don't do that. I can't do that, Yetzer Hara. You can't do that, Yetzer Hara, so leave me alone. That's it. Keep it simple. Right? If he starts coming up with the different ideas, why it's not so bad. This you could do it like this, you could do it like that. That's exactly what happened with Adam Arishan. One thing, had everything perfect. He had servants. He had everything perfect in his life. Everything was perfect. He had his wife. He didn't have to work. He didn't have to do anything. Just one thing: don't eat from the tree. And then he could have done tshuva. So that's why we should always know, anytime we do something wrong, right away, do tshuva. Right? That's what Hashem wants us to do. Learn now from Adam Arishan, right? Made a mistake. The biggest mistake. Right? The biggest mistake, and all Hashem wants him to do is do tshuva. So if a person realizes he stumbled, right away, Hashem, I'm sorry, do tshuva. Right? Do tshuva, don't fall into the same trap of Adam Arishan, okay? Now we learned out today that when you wash your hands, you use clean water that you didn't work with. Water work was performed with that water, right? Don't recycle the water, right? Because you don't want it to be tainted with any work, with anything related to work, because the Torah says that Adam Rishon was cursed with be'itzva in teichlenu. You'll eat your bread, but it'll be depression. We don't want to have any depression. We want purity. So therefore, don't use any water that was used for malacha. That's what the halacha is. Now we understand why we shouldn't do that, right? Again, Rav Nassan never tells you to do something different. He never adds anything. He just shows you how beautiful what you're already doing is and why the halacha, he gives you ideas of why the halacha is like that. Okay, this is one idea, remember, but we have ayin shivim mitorah, like we learned trua. Trua is Torah ayin. Right? Trua is Torah ayin, right? The shivim panim l'Torah. Could you imagine? There's 70 different ways to understand this also. And then 70 ways on that, and 70 ways. It's infinite.
The act is the same. The guy takes a vessel,
Yeah.
fills it up and washes his hands. But it'll say the commentator.
To think about when I'm filling it up, right? But let's give you a beautiful idea. I'm filling up this water. I'm tapping into the Noah Yotzei Me'eden. I'm tapping into the Noah Yotzei Me'eden. And they're going to say, what are you talking about? That's the Chevra Gichoni, if you're in your Yerushalayim, right? Hey, this is the water company. What are you talking about? Hey, no. But this water is special. this water is connected to the Nahar Yotzei Mayeden, right? As a special pipeline, right? They think it's coming from the from the Kinneret or wherever bodies of water, but it's really this water you take out of your sink is coming direct from the Hanohar Yotzei Mayeden, right? It comes down there, and you can. That's why you use that water. You want to use a good kli, because if you use a good kli, right, and we said that we have to be a good kli ourselves, our bodies. We have to be careful what we do with our bodies. We have to keep our bodies pure because we have our neshama in the body. Right, and we want the body to be a good receptacle, a good vessel for the neshama. Right, the cleaner and purer the body is, the better connection the neshama has to the body. Right, we understand that, right? Right, okay. So I think this is the lesson that we have today for Likutey Halachos, and let's learn now something in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay, here we go. Today we are up to Yud Beis. Up to 12?
13, I think.
Okay, 13. Okay. Oh, we'll finish up the chapter.
In Parak.
Huh?
In what Parak?
What?
16. 16.
We're in 16. No, we're in 15. We're finishing 15 today. We're in 15 today, and today we're up to 13 or 15. Okay?
Last one.
Okay. Ein ma'minyan l'shliach tzibah kavua ela mi shenismale zekonoi. Right? You should have a shliach tzibah should have a beard, right? Right, have a beard, right? Aba ba'akre ba'alma kol shehu ben shleish esrei shana v'yoyim echad yochol li'ered lifnei ateva. Right? Okay, listen. We really are more makbid about these things when it comes to the Yom Nairoim, right? When it comes to the high holidays. So we really, but really anytime, if there's two people, one person has a beard and one person is more beloved by the community, like we learned, one person has a better voice than the other one, but not just a better voice, because we said Hashem doesn't like a person that has nothing but just a good voice, right? Right, so if he has it, but anyone can be a shliach tzibur, and we said yesterday the same idea. Someone mentioned, well, how does it work then if you have somebody that's a chiyuv, right? He lost somebody, right, and he's a chiyuv. He has to daven for the amid. So we said that hopefully that person, since he lost somebody, will have been someone that did tshuva, recognize that he has to connect back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and then and if he's about tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu likes about tshuva better than anybody else, right? Hashem loves that, right? And Hashem is always next to us, so we can always do tshuva. Always do tshuva.
He has for 30 days, at least he has a beard.
He has a beard, right? With the first 30 days, he'll have a beard.
Maybe keep it.
That's funny.
Wow.
The footnote says he doesn't actually have to have a beard, he just has to be old enough.
Yeah, that's what they said, right? He has to be at least. Listen, you're better if you have somebody that is, but anybody could be the shliach tzibur. Okay.
And married, right?
Married is but he doesn't say that over here, but yeah, it should be someone that that's merely for V'yam and Laron.
Oh, so I remember in the Shtibach in the Upper West Side,
Yeah.
the guy wouldn't allow anybody who wasn't married to go to daven.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, there's an Indian like that, but okay, but the Mikra din, anyone could go up go up to be, as long as he's a bar mitzvah boy, he's 13 in one day, he can go up.
And dress properly.
We spoke about that, right? You want to be dressed properly because you want to be someone that goes, you're standing in front of Hashem, you're representing, huh?
No shorts.
Yeah, okay.
What's the reason for this?
What?
So he has to have a full beard. There's the light of the beard, there's things that are...
Yeah, that's the chesed. The beard is chesed, right? Connecting to the chesed chinam, right? The beard is chesed, so you want to connect to the chesed chinam. Okay, everyone have a wonderful day. And the Mitzvah Hashem will learn tomorrow as well. Okay.